Hello, my name is Richard, and welcome to my dungeon. Today we're going to discuss X4, the Master of the Desert Nomads. This adventure includes a wilderness area, a temple dungeon crawl, and many amazing, well-scripted encounters. One encounter is a huge battle set piece, when your party must defend a caravan from an army of raiding bandits. If you're interested in going in-depth in one of my favorite BECMI modules, then step inside my dungeon.
Dungeon Crawlers Level 1.
This was the first adventure I remember purchasing. I purchased this module mostly because the front cover spoke to me. The front cover has a party that's attacking a siege tower. It turns out that the siege tower is a magical machine called a juggernaut. The enemy is actually highly mobile and can steamroll characters and do massive amounts of damage. The adventure hook on the back cover states, "Nobles and peasants have joined swords to greet the foes." Then it ends with, "So begins your adventure in the Master of the Desert Nomads," the first module in a two-part adventure that can be concluded in an exciting Temple of Death. This adventure takes place on the edge of X1, that's the Isle of Dread. That was the one with the dinosaurs. This sounds like a great campaign. Just think if they made a serious Dungeons & Dragons movie using these three modules, it would be hard to mess up. X4, Master of the Desert Nomads, is an expert level adventure for 6 to 8 characters from level 6 to 9. A party should include a cleric that is 8 or 9th level. Remember, in BECMI, a character that reaches 9th level can build their own stronghold or castle. So, this character, they're not cannon fodder or raw recruits. They have seen their share of battle to reach such a high level. This adventure had many diverse areas. The module includes an overland and river wilderness area, which leads to a temple dungeon crawl, but there are specific keyed encounters which allow the adventure to proceed systematically. This type of adventure can make the players feel like they're being led around with no real exploration. I really don't see railroad adventures as inherently bad, since having a scripted adventure makes it easier to run, especially at a younger age. How this works is, when the party enters an area, like the caravan or the river, there's a few scripted encounters that can occur, so it is up to the dungeon master to introduce these organically, so not to seem overly scripty. When the adventure starts, you're only told that there is a republic that is being raided by many small groups of bandits, and the governor sent out a call for help. Your party accepts the call for aid, but when they arrive, the Republic army has already left for battle. Your party is assigned to a reserve unit that is filled with, as the module says, undesirables. Something about this just doesn't seem right. Your characters are being treated like low-level minions and not the seasoned veterans they have become. From here on out, there is a spoiler alert. I'm going to discuss some of the keyed encounters in the adventure. I enjoyed the start of the adventure. No wordy background story was needed. You're just told you're assigned guard duty. At night, you see a fight break out just beyond Lantern Light. The fight is between a human cleric and a monster called a Soul Eater. A Soul Eater is a powerful creature that is summoned by a high-level cleric. Once summoned, the creature will attack any victim the cleric chooses and will not give up until the victim is defeated. Now, I strongly suggest that the party slow walks to the fight. Give the Soul Eater time to accomplish his task. And this might sound cruel, and yes it is. But to my defense, the cleric is pretty messed up. When the battle is not going his way, he will cast a quest spell on one of the party members. A quest spell is a spell that forces a party member to perform a task. In this situation, the cleric will toss a map to the party member and say, "Go there and do what should be done." That's pretty vague. The cleric is basically forcing the party member to start the adventure. This is something the party member should do anyway, so doing a slow walk to the fight will avoid being a victim of a needless spell. Plus, you can collect the cleric's +1 armor after the fight. The next day, the party's commander orders them to find the Temple of Death. As a clue, they have the map the cleric threw to them. The map reads, "Guide me to destroy the Temple of Death." The first step is to locate the Republic army, where the spies could help you locate the Temple of Death. The party is told that there is a caravan leaving soon that is traveling through the desert. But to reach the caravan, they must travel by boat through the Ashande River to reach the Salt Swamp. And past this swamp is the caravan. The party is given a boat and they prepare to launch. When they hear a distant drumbeat, they check the horizon and they see a flying monster. The flying monster is a wyvern with a magic user rider. The rider will use a lightning bolt and attack with 3 trolls. This is a challenging battle, but after the battle, the party discovers that the evil magic user was wearing an amulet in the shape of a skull. Probably not a good idea to put on an evil-looking amulet, but this amulet is like the Palanteri from Lord of the Rings. If the party member puts on the amulet, then the master, who is the big bad of the series, can see everything the party can see. At this point, the party would not be able to surprise any monsters, since the forces of the master will be notified of the party's movement. While traveling downriver, the party will see the master's minions camped on both sides of the river. If they're wearing the amulet, there's no way to sneak past them. No matter what they try, the minions will know where they're located. If not wearing the amulet, then the party can possibly sneak past the enemy camp to avoid a fight. This is a tough fight since one of the camp has human archers and the other is a monster camp that includes orcs, bugbears, and even 2 were-tigers. So it will be very beneficial to avoid this battle since 2 were-tigers can shred a party. It's important to save your strength since there are extremely powerful wandering monsters. Once per day and once per night, you must check for these encounters. A roll of a 1 or a 2 on a 6-sided dice, a wandering monster occurs. The possible wandering monsters can seem like a boss level fight. The party can possibly even fight a Hydra or a black dragon. After a long slog downriver, the party finally reaches the caravan. It is important not to act overly aggressive, so they will be invited into the caravan. During the travel with the caravan, the party will see a dust cloud approaching. This dust cloud hides a group of 100 bandits, all on horse. They are armed with swords and short bows. The bandits, they're not too powerful individually, but fighting 100 low-level bandits can still be a challenging fight. This battle is a huge set-piece encounter. The bandits will swarm the caravan and attack from 5 different positions. If the party defeats the bandits at 2 locations, then the remainder will book it. After a long grueling travel through the desert, the party finally reaches the Lost Oasis. The caravan will stay at the oasis a few days before continuing the trip. The party will be treated as honored guests and invited to the feast. The characters that take part in the feast must make a savings throw versus poison. Those who fail the savings throw will not be able to sleep due to what the book states as severe stomach cramps and indigestion. Yikes, this really happened. Last time I had a hot dog wrapped in bacon, I must have missed my savings throw too. Hopefully, the party will post guards when they sleep. If not, a new monster called a tabby will sneak into their quarters. The tabby will steal the map the cleric gave them. A tabby is a small monkey creature with wings. They have a strong odor and could be smelled up to 100 feet. If followed, the tabby can be tracked to the buried temple. There they will find a small dungeon and the party will need to fight the tabby's boss. This boss is a nagpa, which is an evil-looking vulture creature that can create flames. Once the map is recovered, the party will head back to the caravan. There they will see a man who is shading himself from the harsh sun. This man is a scout. Hopefully, the party will be on their best behavior so they can befriend him. If so, the man will take the party back to his camp. It is possible to discover some key clues. The party will find out that the Republic army was routed, so they could not be any help. Also, if a party member is wearing an evil amulet, the leader will let them know that the master has been seeing their actions through this amulet. Lastly, the party are given guides to the next part of the adventure. The party will need to cross the Plain of Fire. When traveling, they will encounter a light desert rain. The rain gets heavier and heavier. After an hour of plodding through the storm, the ground starts to shake. Torrential rain and an earthquake? Is that another hurricane? Maybe, but we're not in Southern California. Then a huge hydra head bursts out of the mud, then more explode out of the ground. Eventually, the party will see the full body of a huge desert hydra, and it attacks immediately. This hydra has been hibernating and is famished. Another tough fight for your party. After recovering from the hydra battle, the party will continue their expedition when they see a huge dust cloud approaching. The dust cloud is coming from the Master's army. The party has just enough time to duck into a cave. There they can stay and not be discovered. In the morning, they can sneak past the Master's forces. After a long trek, the party finally finds an evil abbey. This evil abbey is a sweet, sweet dungeon crawl. The Abbey is the last encounter of the module and has an exciting twist, so I'm not going to go over this portion of the adventure. The Abbey was hands down my favorite part of this adventure. The end of the Abbey is the end of the Desert Nomad adventure. The adventure picks up in the Temple of Death module. I give this adventure a strong recommendation. For me, I give it an 8 out of 10. Many people will say this adventure is on rails and players are led around the adventure. I would honestly say maybe, if it is played that way, but that doesn't make it a bad game. I enjoyed many of the scripted encounters, like the caravan battle, and these scripted encounters made it easy to run. The evil abbey at the end was a great dungeon crawl and an amazing conclusion to the adventure. Lastly, the art and maps, in my opinion, are some of the best in BECMI. Thank you for watching all the way through. If you made it this far, how about giving me a like? Let me know in the comments if you played this adventure and your overall thoughts. I'm currently working on the Temple of Death video, so if you want to be notified when it's ready, please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see everybody on the next dungeon crawl.